All right, folks. Welcome in here. Mount Polumbus Speaks live watch party as we watch the Broncos take on the Philadelphia Eagles out in Philadelphia. Big game for the Broncos, man. Um, I think the Broncos got a chance to look really good in this game. I really do. Will they win it? I don't know, man. With it, it's probably going to come down to the wire. Would be my guess. I think we're going to be feeling pretty competitive the whole game, but obviously we're going to find out a lot in this first quarter here. But Broncos got the ball to start out the game. Come out in pistol formation, hand the ball off to J.K. Dobbins, get a gain about 4 yards. Decent start to get the first offensive drive rolling. Um, I think that this Eagles team is a weird 4-0 team. Um, I'm definitely not belittling them or knocking the Eagles team at all because they're damn good. They've won 20 out of their last 21 games. That's freaking insane. They are finding ways to win games when they're not playing particularly well, but they also have got a lot of weird things going on. They've not been running the ball particularly well. And apparently there's a lot of drama out there with their new offensive coordinator. Broncos come out with play number 2 with the toss to the right-hand side to J.K. Dobbins. Looked like it was going to be a loss of 2, but instead he turns it into a gain of 2. Now you got 3rd and 4, manageable third down situation. So come out with 2 straight runs to start the game, and Bo Nix needs to convert on 3rd down. It's going to come down to 2 things today. It's going to come down to 3rd down conversions, and 3rd down conversions equal first downs. So it's going to come down to that, and it's going to come down to converting in the red zone because this Eagles team is lights out in the red zone, both offensively and defensively. Unfortunately, we do not pick up the 3rd down, and Broncos are going to punt this ball away after we take a deep shot down the field to Cortland Sutton, and we do not connect. So on 3rd and 4, we decide to go for the home run ball, and instead we're going to punt the ball away to the Eagles. But anyways, this Eagles team, they've they've got the number 1 ranked scoring red zone offense, and they've got the number 3 ranked red zone defense. Cortland does need to catch that ball. I agree with you, buddy. Appreciate you joining the live stream as always, Wes. For those of you guys out there that just saw that, if you're watching on X or whether you're watching on YouTube, you can send your comments in and they will show up live on screen here. They will just pop on up and we can have an interactive experience. It's always more fun when you guys get interactive with me. So please do send in your thoughts and your comments. So it's going to come down to red zone efficiency. That's why the Eagles are 4-0, because the Eagles have been so damn effective both offensively in the red zone and defensively. Every freaking time the Eagles have gotten the ball inside the red zone this year, they've walked away with a touchdown. They're literally 100% with red zone touchdowns. That's going to be a big matchup all day long. A.J. Brown's been frustrated. He's been voicing his concerns with the Eagles. There's been some drama going on for a 4-0 football team out there with the Eagles. All right, Jalen Hurts scrambling around, buying time. Be interesting to see how Vance Joseph decides to attack Jalen Hurts in this game because usually, historically speaking, when Vance goes up against a mobile quarterback, he goes with the box rush, meaning he tells his edge rushers to not run the loop. Don't go over the top trying to get the strip sacks. We want to box this quarterback in. We want to contain him. Vance is one of the most aggressive defensive play callers in terms of how often he likes to blitz. But usually when he goes up against these mobile quarterbacks, he does not blitz nearly as often. Jalen Hurts is just too long on that deep ball to Dallas Goedert. Fortunately, because Dallas Goedert was wide freaking open, and Broncos get off the field with 3 and out, and now the Eagles are going to have to punt it on 4th and 7. Eagles are human. They're 4-0, but they're human. They're a beatable football team. Yeah, our defense does need to step up. Fallen King. That's what it's going to come down to. We're supposed to have an elite defense. I think they are an elite defense. And if you're going to be elite defense, you need to show up in the biggest games. Okay, Marvin Mims, create some space. Going out to the left, cut back to the right. Nice return from our Pro Bowl punt returner. It'd be nice if he doesn't muff the ball in this game. All right, as we go to commercial break here, let me take a quick second to thank the title sponsor of Mount Polumbus Speaks. Shout out to Safeway, an incredible local grocery store. And know that when you shop at Safeway, Safeway supports local small businesses. So you're going to get fresh food, local flavors. You're doing a good deed. They cut their fruit fresh in store every single day, and you can really taste the difference in comparison to their competitors. Safeway's got an incredible mobile app, so if you don't have that on your phone, make sure you download it today. You can order directly on the app, skip the other delivery service apps, and order directly with Safeway. You're going to save time. You're going to save money. They make it so easy. They save your orders. I repeat my order all the time. Sometimes I literally just hit repeat and I hit send, and the food's at my doorstep before you blink an eye if that's how you choose to get it delivered, or you can go pick it up. Safeway, fresh foods, local flavors. Go check out your local Safeway store today, and thank you to Safeway for being such a vital part of Mount Polumbus Speaks. For those of you guys out there that are tuning in to Mount Polumbus Speaks, maybe for the first time, or maybe you've been watching for a long time and you've never subscribed, please take 3 seconds out of your day, hit that link in my bio on X, go on over to YouTube and hit subscribe on YouTube. That's where my content lives. I put out weekly game film. I break down the coaches' film, the all 22, and I usually just do the Broncos offense because I'm an offensive-minded guy, and that's what I enjoy doing. But I put those out usually the day after I do the first half and 2 days after I do the second half. So if you want to continue to see all my content, make sure you go hit subscribe over on YouTube. And if you want to do me a huge solid just because you're a Tier 1 listener of Mount Polumbus Speaks, go ahead and like and comment on that YouTube video and help my channel grow. I would be very, very grateful to you guys if you could do that for me. Usually do take a bit of a mental vacation when we get to commercial breaks, so don't be concerned if you hear me go quiet during the commercial breaks. I'm usually just taking a bit of a mental break, but it's also a good time for us to get interactive if you got any thoughts or comments about the game. All right, back at it. Broncos got the ball, 1st and 10. Coming out underneath center. Going with the fly sweep to Marvin Mims. Nice block from Nate Atkins out there in space. I like Nate Atkins. He's a good football player. Not the most dynamic receiver in the world, but what Nate Atkins is he's a great blocker. He's a versatile player. You can line him up in multiple positions, and he does a great job of being an effective option, an effective tool in the run game. 2nd and 1, this is usually a good chance to take a shot down the field because you got 2 more cracks at the first down. If you want to go play action, take a home run ball. If you get it, awesome. If you don't get it, no big deal. You got 2 more cracks and picking up the first. They do not do that. They decide to just run it up the gut, pick up about 2 yards, get the first down. Sean's got those shaky hands again today. All right, that's good timing play right there. Bo Nix just stepping back, finding his man Marvin Mims, getting the ball out of his hands. Broncos offensive line's been doing a great job all year long. And Bo Nix has helped them out as well because he's one of the quickest quarterbacks in the NFL in terms of time to release the football. That makes life easier on your O-line, but also the O-line has made life easier on Bo Nix. So keep your eyes on Garrett Bowles and Mike McGlinchey out there today. I think they've both been doing a great job for the entirety of the season. Naked Bootleg and my man Nate Atkins, who I was just giving a shout out, and he's come down with the ball. Two man. Tyler, why hasn't Harvey popped yet? Does this guy have it? Well, you haven't featured RJ Harvey because of J.K. Dobbins. That's the main thing. I actually think RJ Harvey looked pretty good in last week's game. Wasn't quite as explosive as J.K. Dobbins was, but he looked good to me. The offensive line was creating big holes, but the main reason why you haven't given R.J. Harvey the nod is simply because you got a really good running back in J.K. Dobbins ahead of him. So R.J. is going to have to buy his time until he gets full opportunity to get the lion's share of the reps. All right, that's good conversion on 3rd and 6. Keep the sticks moving. Find Cortland Sutton. All right, and on 1st and 10, we hand the ball off to J.K. Dobbins. He's got absolutely nowhere to go. Tries to bounce it back over the right-hand side. Jalen Carter, who's a good football player for the Eagles, ends up getting the TFL. I love doing the coaches film breakdown after the games. It's one of my favorite things I do on the podcast because a lot of times when you watch it live like that, you're not entirely sure what's going on. When you get to rewind it, you get the all 22, you get the end zone copy. I get to break it down for you guys exactly what went wrong. Okay, we got a draw look here, and not a ton of action there, but you do pick up a few yards. You make it 3rd and 6, which is a little bit more manageable than 3rd and 10. All right, so we come up short of the sticks on this one to Cortland Sutton, but I'll be shocked if the Broncos don't go for this one. Anytime you get past the 50, it seems like in today's modern NFL, the analytics are telling you that you're going to go for it on 4th and short. So the Broncos got a 4th and 2 situation. It does look like Sean Payton's going right back down to that play call sheet, and we're going to have our first pivotal moment of the football game as the Broncos have a chance to convert on 4th down here. And we're going to end up getting the flag on the tush push look. Jalen Carter jumps off sides. Appreciate you, Jalen. That's a free 1st down. We don't have to know if the tight end tush push was going to work or not. Cool. All right, now this is where the game's going to come down to, though. We're not quite in the red zone, but we are very close to the go zone. And Broncos hand the ball off to R.J. Harvey, the carry over the left-hand side. TFL, loss of about 2 yards on it. But these are the moments of the game that is going to decide if the Broncos can win against a 4-0 football team or not. Once you get inside that go zone, we have got to finish with touchdowns in this game. Vic Fangio does a great job with his defense. It's the number 3 ranked red zone defense. But the Eagles are so efficient and lethal offensively when they get inside the go zone that you got to match it score for score. Uh-oh. Is that a live ball? Bo Nix is saying he was throwing it, but that looks dangerously close to a live ball right there. And lo and behold, damn. Well, what is the referee doing? You see one referee pointing Eagles ball, then he points back to Broncos ball, goes back to Eagles ball. As of now, they're saying it's a turnover, goes to the Eagles. They'll look at this thing again. Bo Nix, has he got his arm going? Oh, man, that is so close. That is so close. It does look it does look like he had just slightly started to get that motion going forward, but because it's ruled a fumble on the field, I don't know if there's going to be enough there to overturn it. Oh, we cannot have turnovers down there in the go zone. That's exactly right, Wes. We could not turn the ball over today, not against a 4-0 team. If there's one stat line you wanted to look at in the box score that usually tells you who won or lost a football game, simply look at the turnover margin. It's going to tell you who won 90% of the time. Crap. Are they even looking at it? Be right back. I'm going to go get a glass of water. All right. What happened? What I missed? Did they look at it? Oh, call reversed. All right, cool. Cool. Good guys get on the board 3-0 because we get a reverse call. That was really fortunate. I'm telling you, Eagles, that was a weird kick, by the way. Eagles are going to score touchdowns in the red zone. So obviously, I'll take the reverse call that ends up with 3 points on the board. But I want touchdowns today. Eagles aren't the most dynamic offense. It's not like they're going to put up 35, 40 points. So it doesn't have to be a shootout. But Vic Fangio's damn good down there in that lower red zone. I'll take the 3 points as well. Good to have you with us, J Ram. Yeah, fortunate that kick went through too, man. That was a weird trajectory, wasn't it? Anybody keeping an eye on that Browns game? What's Dylan Gabriel up to? Let's check it out. Oh, they lost 21-17. Let's see what his stat line was. Dylan Gabriel was 19 of 33 for 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Not bad. Not bad. I mean, obviously they don't win the game, but for your rookie debut, that's enough to get another crack at it. Kurt, as a former player, how much of a fan are you? You seem pretty passionate. Is it the same as us, though? No, it's definitely not the same as you guys. It's weird, man. I mean, as a player, we're such mercenaries in the NFL. We bounce around from 3-4 different teams. It's really hard to attach yourself with sincere loyalty to any football team as a player because you end up playing in too many different cities. You know, it's a man, it's a cutthroat league where they're going to cut you left and right. I'm fortunate that I started my career here in Denver. That was awesome. Obviously, as a Denver kid, I'm going to be biased towards the Denver Broncos, but I'm more fortunate that I got to come back because if I'm being honest, my first stint with the Broncos ended so badly under the Josh McDaniels era. I hated the Broncos. I really did. I despised everything about the Broncos after Josh. He just made football so miserable. So I was really fortunate that I got to come back and play my final year here, win a Super Bowl, so that I could feel connected to my hometown city, to my hometown team. And obviously, I've got incredible feelings about the Broncos now, but I did not have that. If you ask a former player what they really feel passionate about, 9 out of 10 of them are going to tell you they only feel real passion for their college team. Very few guys have got passionate rooting interest as a fan for NFL teams. Well, AJ Brown getting a catch right in front of Pat Surtain, as the announcer says the exact same thing that I just said. AJ Brown threw a temper tantrum this week because he's not getting enough balls thrown his way. I'll tell you this. One thing that usually works in the NFL, just keep your eye on it. When wide receivers throw temper tantrums, they're not getting the ball. It's like embarrassing. It works. It's like a little kid with an outburst, and you end up rewarding the kid. So AJ Brown probably is going to end up getting at least 7 targets in this game. Am I still in touch with James Gomez? Yeah, not as much as I need to be. Jago is a tremendous dude, one of the funniest dudes I've ever known in my life. He was a tremendous part of our show, Polumbus and Lindahl. Close personal friends. Shout out. Appreciate you checking in. But I do text Andy Nate, or excuse me, Andy Nate. That's his new show. Andy, James, and I, we still have got a group thread that we text every so often. Uh-oh, Saquon Barkley off to the races. D-Mac was being all disrespectful about Saquon Barkley this week on the show, talking about how he's struggling this week and he's not scared of him. I'm like, you shut your mouth. Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't start talking about Saquon Barkley like he's not primed and ready to set free at any point. Barkley's had like 53 yards or less in the last two games, so it has been interesting. Don't like how easily the Eagles are moving on this drive, that's for sure. Damn, they're just running down our throats right now. Saquon, oh, God. The one thing that we cannot do defensively is let Saquon Barkley break free. We want to try to force Jalen Hurts to beat us in the air. Broncos breaks the pressure on that one, and Jalen Hurts does a good job of identifying the pressure, gets the ball out quickly to Javonte Smith. That's the danger that you play when you blitz a smart quarterback. There's usually going to be a wide open wide receiver if you can just identify it in time. Eagles are just converting on first downs on this drive. That's all they're doing. They're looking efficient. This is what an Eagles offense looks like. It's not the most explosive offense in the world, certainly not most exciting offense in the world, but what they do is they go from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 6, 2nd and 6 to 3rd and 4, 3rd and 4 to first down. They're just an efficient offense. They're making it look easy here. So now the Eagles are down there in the red zone where they have literal a perfect record. Gosh, the announcers and I are on the same page today. They've converted every single time they've been down there in the red zone for a touchdown. The good news, though, is that the Broncos have got the number one ranked red zone defense. So we're going good on good here. This is one of the best things that the Broncos do defensively, but the Eagles happen to be number one on the opposite side of the ball. So this is good on good. How bad is my delay today? All right, 2nd and 7. Eagles can still pick up a first down here, obviously. All right, good pressure, but Jalen Hurts escapes the pocket, gets out of the right side, buys time, Fortunately, only picks up about 1 or 2 yards, but that really was good pressure from the Broncos. So Eagles will get themselves in a slightly more manageable third down situation here. Oh wow, it's still 3rd and 8. I thought he gained more than that. Not much delay. That's good. I usually have got like a minute delay. Wow. Okay. So good job by the Broncos defense. We hold them on both go zone attempts and their first red zone attempt to 3 points, assuming the Eagles don't do anything crazy here, tried to go for it on 4th and 8. Uh, excuse me. What am I talking about? This is the first time. Eagles are going to tie it up to be 3-3. Uh, I don't know that it's so much that Moss gets picked on more than any other quarter, as much as it is other teams just don't want to throw the football towards Pat Surtain. So is it Moss getting picked on because he's a liability, or do they simply just not want to throw the football at Pat Surtain? I tend to think it's the latter. Riley Moss is a damn good quarter in the NFL. It doesn't matter who's playing opposite of Pat Surtain; they're going to be the ones that get targeted. Commercial break equals mental break for Tyler. Damn, the reviews are in on Dylan Gabriel. They're all saying, despite the fact that they lost the football game, Dylan Gabriel played really well. So the Shadur Sanders watch is going to have to go on the back seat. That's pretty efficient football for a rookie, man. I'm just looking at a few of my favorite analysts, and they've all got really good things to say about Dylan Gabriel's game. I totally forgot that they were playing the early game this morning. I didn't even watch a single second of it. Again, appreciate all you guys that are new to Mount Polumbus Speaks. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, make sure you hit that link in my bio on X, going over to YouTube and hit subscribe. It'll literally take you 3 seconds, and it'll ensure that you don't miss out on any of my content that lives unique on the YouTube platform, specifically my coach's film breakdown. That's my favorite thing I do throughout the week. It's what I feel like I could use my football mind. I've got some cool software where I could use lines and circles, and I try to show you guys the actual schematic of every single football play. I specifically do the Broncos offense, but I usually got the first half out the day after, so I'll have that out by tomorrow. Second half usually comes out the next day, but make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss out on that. RJ Harvey ends up putting the ball on the ground. Does he? No. Holds on to it. I got to say, man, the new kickoff rules have really changed the NFL. The NFL has never changed so drastically in 1 year. There's two things going on this year. Number one, the new kickoff rule is working. It's more punitive. So if you put the ball in the end zone, the ball comes out at the 40-yard line. So we are seeing returns. You've got more action on the kickoff returns. And then number two, they made a change that a lot of people might not know anything about with the footballs that the kickers use. It used to be that the footballs, there we go. Nice play action shot down the field to Troy Franklin. Good start to the drive. But because you're starting the ball on the 40-yard line, the kickers have gotten better and better, right? So we're seeing these 60, 70-yard kicks. 60-yarders are like not even abnormal anymore. Part of the reason for that is, number one, the kickers are getting so good. But number two, they changed the rule with the footballs. So previously speaking, you used to have to get a brand new football on game day for the kickers. And now they give the guys, I think it's like 53 footballs, at the beginning of the year that they get to take home, they get to have throughout the season. They get to manipulate those footballs, get them leathered up the way they like, get them broken in the way they like, and it's almost like they've got a trampoline effect going on this year. So with the new kickoff rule, starting the ball at the 40, you really only need like 2 first downs, and we've never seen so many games decided by kicks as we have this year. I actually think it's a good thing. I've seen some people complaining about it, that there's too many kicks going on this year. It's fun, man. I mean, you feel like you get in field goal range anytime you get past the 50-yard line. I think that's good for the game. But this has been the most drastic change in one offseason to the way that football is being played as I've ever seen. Let's not talk about kickers' balls, Dennis. Kickers get to leather up their balls all week long. I'm a child. Give another quick shout out to Safeway here. Won't do a full read, but because they're an incredible sponsor, Mount Polumbus Speaks, want to give them a little extra love today. If you don't have the Safeway app, make sure you download it on your phone. They make it super easy. Skip the other delivery service apps. Order directly from the Safeway app. You're going to save time. You're going to save money. They'll save your order. That's what I do. I pull up my order from last week. I add 2 or 3 items to it, and I'm literally done in 3.5 minutes. Safeway, fresh foods, local flavors. Support your local Safeway store today. My favorite kicker I played with. I'll give you 2 of them. Hi, Bob. That was from Bob. Bob, you don't get to ask me questions. Matt Prater, Brandon McManus. Kickers are, at least historically speaking, not a part of the football team. But Brandon McManus and Matt Prater were some cool dudes. Matt Prater's a funny son of a gun, man. Matt Prater used to just, all he wanted to do in the weight room was work on his neck. He'd go in there every day just doing neck stuff. He'd walk out and he'd be like, "Hey, Polumbus, you got a pencil neck, man." We called him Hawk because he was obsessed with hawks. He coined himself Hawk. When Matt would miss a kick in the middle of the game, he'd walk up to me, be like, "Hey, bro, it was nice knowing you. I'm out of here tomorrow." But he really wasn't losing his confidence. He was just being playful. Matt's a funny son of a gun. Just don't go out with him past midnight or else you're going to get in trouble. Broncos got to pick up a couple extra road games now because they've dropped 2 winnable road games. Both the Indianapolis game and the Chargers game were winnable road games. So now they got to pick up a surprise. This would be a good one to pick up. Nice hold there for J.K. Dobbins to run right through the middle. It'd be great if we get J.K. Dobbins over another 100-yard game. But if you want to be a playoff football team, you got to win at home and you got to split on the road. That's what Mike Shanahan used to always tell us. You got to win all your home games, then you got to win half of your road games, and you're going to be a playoff football team. Broncos now have dropped 2 road games, so they got to steal one. You know, the one thing that Sean Payton does every year is he does seem to win a road game that nobody expects you to win, whether it's Tampa Bay or it's Buffalo. Every year he's pulled off one, so this Philly game would be a huge one if we could pull this out. Good job by Luke Wattenberg getting out in space there. Your young center who gets a lot of heat from the fans. Obviously, after last week, Luke Wattenberg had what it felt like was 10 penalties. I'm telling you, after I went back and I watched the coaches' film, Wattenberg got screwed on half those penalties. He really did not play a bad football game. You just had terrible referees that were flag happy. Wow, fortunate to pick up the first down on that one. There was really nowhere to go, but J.K. Dobbins had nothing but time and patience as your tight end does a decent job of hanging on a block, even though he got bubbled back. Well, Kurt, when you've got a game like the Broncos had last week and you ran it as effectively as they did, that gives you a lot of confidence as a play caller to stay committed to the run game. The illegal formations are a point of emphasis this year. That's why they're getting called so much. Damn. Had his man Trent Sherfield, how many times this year have we just overthrown the ball by 3 or 4 yards? I hope that's not one that we look back at the end of the game and say, what if you connected with Sherfield on that touchdown? I like Trent Sherfield, though, man. We brought him in from the Minnesota Vikings. He's primarily known as a blocking wide receiver, and we brought him in really to be a special teams ace for the Broncos. But he had a great training camp, and I'd be happy for Trent if we could get him more involved in the passing game. Uh-oh. Damn. Well, that one hurts. That's going to knock you out of field goal range, and we got 4th and 21. No choice but to punt the football now. It's one thing you can't do when you get down there. You cannot have negative football plays. So Quinn Miners does a decent job on that ET game. He passed at the beginning. He does a decent job. He passes his guy off to Mike McGlinchey. Mike McGlinchey did a nice job of setting vertical. If you set too wide, you won't be able to pass that off. They passed off the first guy, but Quinn got a little bit too heavy on his punch, and he just couldn't get back inside for the looper on time. Jeremy Crawshaw, our punter, has been the best rookie that we've had so far this year. You don't see punters drafted all too often, and Crawshaw was really struggling in the preseason. I coined him Crawshank, uh, but he is no longer Crawshank. He's been tremendous for the Broncos, so hopefully he gets a good one here. We can pet him deep. And we do by Crawshaw. Crawshaw's Australian. If you haven't seen him, the dude looks like he's about 35 years old. Yes, the Crawshank Redemption. Oh. Come here, buddy. I'll probably hang out with you guys through the first half today. My daughter's going to be back over here about 12:30, so I got to do some stuff with her. Um, but I will get that all 22 coaches film out if I've got to jump off with you guys. Well, hopefully that means something big happens with the Broncos. My man Brandon Perna is a literal genius. Love That's Good Sports. He is a funny, funny human being. He's like the YouTube king. Does he literally have run the ball in the play sheet again, or are you being facetious? I didn't notice that if he does. He obviously did that last year, and he caught a lot of grief for it because after Wright run the ball, he threw the ball every play of the game. Saquon is not necessarily killing the Denver Broncos today, but what he is doing is he's taking a first and 10 to third or to second and 6 every single time. He's getting positive yardage. And that's how the Eagles love to live. They don't need explosive plays. Jalen Hurts is throwing the fewest amount of throws, 20 yards or more in the entire NFL. He's efficient when he does it. It's not that Jalen Hurts cannot throw the football down the field because he is efficient when he throws it down there, but they just don't even attempt to push the ball down the field because their only goal is to stay in efficient situations. A.J. Brown gets the second catch of the game. Got to control A.J. Brown, got to control Saquon Barkley. Those are the two guys. Talanoa Hufanga has been tremendous. Obviously, the free agency class has been a little bit disappointing with Drake Greenlaw starting the season on the IR. I don't know what the hell is going on with Drake Greenlaw. He's eligible to return in week 7, but quite frankly, I'm not overly optimistic about it. Evan Ingram has been very disappointing. Evan Ingram's been battling injuries, but he has been out there on the football field. The only real free agent, well, I guess if you include J.K. Dobbins in it, but the only real free agent that's been making a huge impact for this team has been Talanoa Hufanga. J.K. Dobbins has been really good too. It was a small technicality because he was a restricted free agent for the Chargers. He was not an unrestricted free agent, but you can go ahead and include him in that free agency class as well. Eagles are a weird team, man. Every year they start out fantastic, and then they've got some weird internal strife that's going on. I can't even remember what it was last year, but I remember Brandon Graham, their defensive end, he got on some podcast and he was talking about how one of the wide receivers hates Jalen Hurts. Nobody even knew anything about it, and all of a sudden that became a big story. Now this year it's AJ Brown. They they've dealt with stuff with Jalen Carter. It just seems like for a team that's had as much success, you wouldn't expect as much internal strife inside that locker room. Man, we had about 5 dudes jumping on that. Broncos had 2 guys in the neutral zone. Eagles had a wide receiver jump, had their left tackle jump. Everybody's moving. Oh, shnikes. Our man Riley Moss, who gets targeted more than anybody else on this team, mainly because his name is not Patrick Surtain. He definitely got beat deep on that one. Jalen Hurts, I told you guys, it's not that he can't throw the deep ball. Jalen Hurts can. He just doesn't throw them very often. Riley Moss got toasted on that one, though. Why does Riley Moss wear sleeves? Because he's hoping that the other team forgets that he's a white corner. Oh yeah, D-Mac was harping all week long about Jalen not being able to throw the football deep. That was a stupid take, and he does it again. Oh god, this time they go after Pat Surtain though, and Pat Surtain's in perfect coverage. That's why you throw it to Riley Moss, not Pat Surtain. What? We're calling that pass interference? That's a weak ass call right there. I think Pat was in perfect position. You got to let these dudes battle a little bit. Well, just close your eyes and wait till the Eagles score a touchdown on this one. There it is. I don't know, man. They keep showing that Pat Surtain highlight. Every time I look at it, that looks like pretty damn good coverage to me. All right, Broncos down 10-0 or 10-3, excuse me. Here's the problem. I mean, we're early in the game, and it's not the next drive for the Broncos offensively is literally do or die, but you cannot let the Eagles get up by 2 scores. When the Eagles up by 2 scores, they just milk it. They take their time. They convert first downs. They just wear you down until you feel broken. So is it literally do or die on this next drive offensively for the Broncos? No, but it feels like a really freaking important possession. Really important possession. Yeah, that one hurts, man. 3rd and 17, and you give up the deep ball. That's what they're built to do, J Ram. Again, during commercials, I usually take a bit of a mental vacation. But if you got any comments or thoughts, it's a good time to send them in. You know, Kurt, I didn't see. I'd have to go back and look if the Broncos blitz there or not. Did we not have any deep safety help? If not, we probably went blitz, which is okay. I mean, Vance is a blitz heavy. He's a blitz heavy coordinator, and he trusts his 2 corners. When you've got corners that you trust, you do tend to put them on an island more than other teams. Unfortunately, this feels like a hallmark. We're just hitting all the benchmarks for the Broncos in this game. We've got dumb penalties. We've overthrown the ball offensively when we had an opportunity to hit the home run strike. Riley Moss is getting targeted again. Again, I'm not as down on Riley Moss as a lot of you guys, but Broncos cannot beat themselves with stupid penalties, and they've got to freaking connect for once on a deep throw. Damn, we're getting super negative over here already, huh, Wes? God dang, another freaking penalty. Broncos are shooting themselves in the foot. I miss Uncle Vic too. I liked Uncle Vic. I don't think Vic Fangio was as bad of a head coach as most people think he was. He had a tough situation. He didn't have a quarterback. I mean, to be fair, Vic was born to be a defensive coordinator, not a head coach. But he got a bad rep, man. And just like Mike Shanahan, if you look at the offensive coordinators in the NFL, you got about half the guys in the league are all disciples of Mike Shanahan running the West Coast offense. Over half the NFL is disciples of Vic Fangio running that cover 2 shell defense. What the Eagles defense does is they allow you to move between the 20s, and then they get tough down there in the lower red zone. And over half the league is trying to replicate what Vic Fangio does. Well, you're not going to beat good football teams being undisciplined. It's a fair take. I mean, Broncos are just not good enough to overcome their own mental mistakes. We go 5 wide on 1st and 10. Get the ball out quick. Is that RJ? Yeah, to RJ Harvey. So we come out with 2 straight throws on this possession. We'll see if Sean Payton can commit to what he's written on his play sheet again this week in running the football. God dang it. You could live with effort penalties. You could live with holding penalties. You could live with dudes getting beat. But when you've got illegal procedure penalties left and right, this is the crap that you can control. This is the crap that makes you pull your hair out as a head coach. I mean, we got a nice start to the drive. Picked up a 1st down. Got to 2nd and 4. Let's back it up, and let's go 2nd and 9 because we false started. Broncos decide to put the ball on the ground on 2nd and 9, end up getting no gain out of it. So now we're going to be in a tough situation on 3rd and long. I don't mind putting the ball on the ground on 2nd and 9 because your real goal is it's not to pick up a 1st down. It's just to make your 3rd down more manageable. But when you don't gain yards, well, now you put yourself in a dangerous situation for a quarterback that tends to make some mistakes. Another batted ball. Awesome. Let's punt the ball away. And this is where you start to lose a football game. Eagles got what they want now, man. They got an opportunity to go up by 2 scores. Drills Luke Wattenberg in the back of the head. Jalen Carter is a stud. He's a good football player. Damn it. Why'd I lose my connection again? Did I lose you guys? My stream looks like it's freezing up on my end. Oh, I see some comments rolling in, so it looks like I haven't entirely lost you guys. Okay, and we're back. All right, cool. Let me get caught up on some of the comments here. J-Ram, lucky bounce on the punt. Yep, fortunate. Up by 2 scores, and they get the ball in the second half. Not ideal. Richard, I can feel the win probability seeking. Cole, started out looking good, then same old, same old. Yeah, it's hard to not get caught up in feeling like the Broncos are just going to repeat the sins of the past because they are repeating the sins of the past. They're hurting themselves. They're not connected on the deep throws. I mean, Bo Nix, man, I don't know what's wrong with him this year, but he can't connect on a deep throw to save his life. We're shooting ourselves in the foot with penalties. We're doing it on offense. We're doing it on defense. Riley Moss got picked on. Pat Surtain got the pass interference, which was a BS call. It was stupid. That shouldn't have been pass interference, but it was called anyways. Then you come back, you got a special teams penalty. Then you get a false start offensively. I mean, we've had 5 penalties in the last 3.5 minutes of this game. I was a little bit lazy today, J-Ram. I didn't get my scoreboard set up. Sorry. How was my experience playing in D.C., living in the DMV? It was weird, man. I mean, I've got a lot of love for the DMV. I got a lot of love for DC. Um, I was in my personal prime when I was playing out there in DC. I was a full time starter for 4 years. I was playing for Mike, my favorite head coach, and there was a lot of good things. But I'm not going to lie, the fans out in DC suck. And what I did not like was how far away everything was. Our practice facility was out in Ashburn, Virginia. I lived in Northern Virginia. We had to drive with traffic, hour and a half, hour 45 to get to our games. On home games, you'd play a Monday night football game and you wouldn't get home until 2 in the morning. So I had a lot of love for my experience out there, but the fan base sucked. They it was they're just a brutal fan base. But then again, I don't really blame them because Dan Snyder was such a bad owner for so long. I don't blame them for getting smitten. All right, now would be a good time for a strip sack. You got to be kidding me. We got more laundry out there. I didn't see this one live. Was this one legit? They're not even showing it because they're going back to Pat Surtain. Nah, Broncos D line is not overhyped. I'm sorry, Gabriel, but you're wrong about that. Nick Benito is arguably the defensive player of the year right now. Jonathan Cooper is playing phenomenal. Zach Allen, as of last week, was leading the NFL in quarterback hits. The Broncos defensive line is legit. You see Zach Allen impacting that football play too. That's true, Kyle. I mean, that is true, but Cortland did drop that first one. All right, so I mean, we don't have to put it all on Bo Nix, but between the unit offensively, they cannot get it done on the deep throws. That's a lot of space. Javonte Smith does a good job identifying the coverage, ends up sitting down in the zone coverage, and doesn't have a defensive player within 5 yards of him. Well, in theory, you ask, we don't have anyone better than Moss. Well, we did draft a corner in the first round. His name is Janae Barron, and he doesn't play football for the Denver Broncos because apparently he's not ready to contribute. So that's disappointing, man. I mean, we drafted a first round corner that was a luxury selection from the get go. We did not need to pick a corner, and he's not even playing. He's not even contributing. All right, defense, you got to come up big for the Broncos here. Got to get a stop. Got to get off the field. All right, Riley Moss is going to be public enemy number one in Denver. There's no question about that. Oh, he's out of bounds. He's out of bounds. So he gets to live to fight another day on that one. I mean, Riley's a good. You know what? Riley's going to get knocked on that play simply because it's another catch that was over him. Riley's in good position. You can't be in much better position than Riley Moss is on that one. That's not a bad possession for a corner. Just a perfect throw from Jalen Hurts is what it was. That ball literally could not have been thrown any better than it was. One. Two, oh, he is down. He got both. He got both feet down. That is going to be. Oh, but he does bobble it. He does bobble it right at the last second there. If he doesn't bobble it, that's a catch 100%. But now they're going to have to look at if he had full-time possession of that ball or not. No, it actually was a good challenge. I think if you look at it closely, he got both those feet down. That left foot was down when he caught the ball, but then he bobbles it. All right, Broncos need to get a little bit lucky on this one. One more chance and a shameless plug for the podcast here. Appreciate all you guys joining in from Mount Polumbus Speaks. If you're new to Mount Polumbus Speaks, I know the far majority of you guys are watching on X right now. If you're new to the podcast, please take 3 seconds out of your day, hit that link in my bio on X, go on over to YouTube and hit subscribe because that's where my content lives. And I do put out content that is unique only to the YouTube platform. So if you enjoy the content and you want to help support me, take 3 seconds, go subscribe to YouTube to make sure you don't miss out on anything that I'm putting out. Because it's ruled incomplete. Yeah, okay. I think no matter what that's ruled on the field is probably what it stays. It was just too close to overturn it. So if it was ruled a catch on the field, it probably stays a catch. Appreciate you, Kyle. Thanks for subscribing. All right, fortunately, this flag's going to go against the Eagles. All right. Looks like Vance is going to bring pressure again. No, they bail out of it. Just go with the 4-man rush. There's my man Zach Allen. There's my man Jonah. No, Nick Benito. So sorry to whoever, forget who that was, which one of you was talking about the Broncos D-line being overrated. They ain't overrated. They got 4 dudes, including Jonathan Franklin Myers, that can get after the quarterback. They're by far the best unit on this football team, and it's not even close. Okay, so now you got a little bit over 2 minutes on the clock to start a 2-minute drive. You got 1 timeout. That's plenty of time. So you got 2 timeouts with a 2-minute possession. But you don't want to come out going balls to the wall, because the one thing you don't want to do is give the ball back to the Eagles with any time to go score. That was a very fortuitous bounce for the Broncos there. Ball ends up going into the end zone. But you're going to want to actually eat up a little bit of clock at the beginning of this drive. Rather than going pedal to the metal, you might run the ball early on, early screen pass. Just get a drive starter. If you do get a drive starter and the first play, second play ends up popping for 10 or 12 yards, well, now you can put your foot on the gas and try to go score a touchdown. But you got to manage the clock as much as you're trying to score. That's the Vic Fangio shell. Tony Romo saying the same thing I said. So now you get nothing and the clock stops, which is not ideal. You actually might run the football on this next one because you want to get that. Well, you got the 2-minute warning right after it, so it really doesn't make you too big of a difference. I take that back. Now we go with the halfback screen. Yeah, Sean's a big screen guy. I mean, listen, it's it's pretty predictable what you're going to do at the beginning of these 2-minute drives. Almost every team does the same thing, and you just start with the drive starter, see what happens. You don't come out pedal to the metal. It would be nice if we could get a field goal because the Eagles do get the ball back to start the second half. This time you go with the bubble screen rather than the halfback screen. That'll keep the call. It's a good. I like the play call. It's a good, safe play call. You've got the potential to hit big on the bubble screen, but more importantly, you're going to keep the clock running here. Ooh, I thought Garrett Bowles was a little bit early on that play. Gosh, Bo, tips and overthrows, got to get those. That's what you say when you're on defense. Broncos fortunate that doesn't turn into an interception. Bo with just a really bad ball throwing it behind his running back, Tyler Bidet. I used to love playing in Philadelphia, though, Dennis, because as much as they dislike the other team, if you go out there, you play in Philly, and I used to have to play there every year playing in the NFC East. You go out there, you get up by a score in the first quarter, they'll turn on their home team in a heartbeat. They start booing. All right, deep throw with absolutely nobody within the region. End up 4th and 5. We're going to punt the ball away. Eagles get the ball with 1:26. Shiza. Come on, Crawshaw. Need a good punt here. We do get a good punt. Crawshaw has been nearly automatic so far this season. All right, we got him backed up. So if the Eagles are going to score here, they're going to have to really earn it. If you can't get after the quarterback, if you can't get a QB hit, if you can't get a pressure, get your hands up in the air, and sometimes good things happen. Good job from Tillman just getting his hand up and getting a block there. See, Broncos actually, they could get this ball back with decent field position if we get a stop. Let's go. Close. Close. He does go out of bounds. Okay. So now this gets interesting. You got 3rd and 6-ish. You got to make a decision. Do you trust your corners or not? If you bring the heat, you can force the ball out of his hands quickly, but when you bring the heat, you're giving up those 9-ball routes, and it puts your corners one-on-one. But if you do get a stop right here, you get another chance at this thing offensively, and you'll get the ball on about the 40, 50-yard line. Looks like we're showing heat, but we're not going to bring the heat. And that's exactly what happens. Great job by Zach Allen creating another pressure. Zach Allen's my favorite player on that defensive line. I love watching that dude play ball. It's not every day that you get a 4-eye technique that can get after the quarterback the way that Zach Allen does. Usually in a 3-4 scheme, which is what the Broncos employ, your 4 eyes, that's the position that Zach Allen plays. That means you're going to line up on the inside shoulder of the tackle. Those guys are what you call two-gappers. They're mainly employed to be run stuffers. They're going to go lateral playing 2 gaps so they can keep their man off the linebacker. Those guys, historically speaking, are not very well known as pass rushers. Broncos still got a timeout in their pocket. They really only need to go about 15, 20 yards, and they're in field goal position. Javonte Williams looking all right down there in Dallas. No negative plays, no penalties, and no sacks. Yeah, that's a negative play. Oh, I might have called timeout right there. I might have gone ahead and wasted our one timeout. You're going to let a lot of clock tick away. Oh, God. Boy, tips and overthrows, got to get those. That was a great opportunity for Philadelphia to get a dumb turnover. God dang it. If we don't walk away with 3 points on this one, we are destined for failure. Just give us a chance to go for it on fourth down. Pick up about 12, 13, 10, 12 yards. And we get the pass interference. All right. Laundry's coming out this time in favor of the Broncos. So with 15 seconds, you got about enough time for 2 plays offensively. So you'll take 2 cracks at the end zone here, and you got to get the ball out quick, and you got to make sure you don't take a negative play. But you do have a timeout off. Actually, you might even be able to get 3 plays off because you've got that timeout in the bag. No penalty. Shoot. Pick up the flag. So Broncos do not get lucky. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good call. That's probably a pretty good pickup, as much as that would have benefited the Broncos. I don't mind him taking a shot. All right, folks. Well, one last shameless plug here for the podcast. Mount Polumbus Speaks is the podcast. I'm Tyler Polumbus. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me here today. If you're not subscribed to the podcast, make sure you hit that link in my bio on X, go on over to YouTube and hit subscribe. That's where my content lives. I'll put out the All 22 Coaches film. I'll at least have the first half out by tomorrow, maybe even the second half. Second half usually comes out 2 days after, but that's my favorite thing that I do on the podcast because I get to break it down. I get to use my football brain, and I get to show you guys the schematics of football, using some arrows and circles and everything else. So if you enjoy what I put out, make sure you go subscribe over on YouTube. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'm going to jump off. My daughter's walking in the door, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time with her watching the second half until tomorrow when I put out the All 22 film. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I am out of